What it do, baby? Welcome back to the Eurosteppers podcast, guys. As you guys know, right now it's one of the most entertaining times of the year, best
Yes,
times of the
sir.
year. Playoff basketball is here. I know Dav's super pumped.
You already know, fam. You already
Hopefully,
know.
hopefully the Bucks. It's been a long drought. I think 50 years, like since dinosaurs were around the last time
Hey,
the Bucks won. So,
everything in time.
hopefully that money pays off. They've been paying like $250,000 for that chip. But yeah, so today we're going to be making our 2021 playoff picks and predictions. And just before we start, too, we're going to be looking at our initial regular season stand-ins, back one of our first episodes we did at the beginning of the year, and comparing them to where the stand-ins were now.
Yo, right before we get into that, we'll tag that video right here. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go back and check it out, and then come back to this video right after. So, yeah, we went back and watched that video, and our standings are a little bit different to what happened, eh?
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know about you, but mine could have been a lot better for sure.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna put them up here. We'll start with Dav's because I think Dav, when we were like kind of going through them, I think you had like it was pretty good still. Like
It was pretty good.
you had a lot of the teams. I was kind of surprised. Like obviously Houston in the West was a big disappointment.
Yeah,
I think we both had them around like the 5-6 range,
something like that. Yeah,
which is crazy. I think we both like all like the crappy teams too, like the bum ass franchises. They were right where they're supposed to be, except in the East. I think we both had the Knicks pretty low. I say you had them 13th.
Yeah, I did.
I had them finishing 13th as well. So yeah, they were a big surprise this year. But other than that, I think we did pretty good.
We did.
Yeah. Other than the stands, because the Lakers, obviously with injuries, LeBron's like his injury. If he was like healthy, they probably would have stayed at the top
for sure.
I was kind of disappointed to see the Raptors. And I'm surprised you put the Raptors that high too. Not gonna lie.
I give them respect after they had a good season. I had to for sure. I'd say like for me, my biggest disappointment was having the Rockets so damn high. Like, obviously, like in all fairness, we thought Harden would stay with them. We didn't think he was gonna go anywhere. We thought he'd solve his problems, but he left. So obviously they went into straight poverty. So that's on them, not us. But you want to give a quick rundown, Dan? Then I'll just run through my East.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I had the Bucks, the Nets, the Celtics, the Heat, 76ers, Raptors, Pacers, and then the Wizards. That was my playoff picture. And for the most part, I got them all right. The only teams I was missing were the Hawks and the Knicks, who proved to be incredible teams this year. Coached by Nate McMillan, coached by Tom Thibodeau. They showed up. They got the 4 and 5 seeds. It's going to be a lit playoff seed, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I think for the most part, I gave myself like a B plus ranking my my East playoff or my seedings. So not too bad. 76ers also definitely surprised me a little bit. Doc Rivers doing that well for them, so that was a pleasant surprise. Miami and Celtics, those were teams I thought would do better, and they actually ended up being worse. But when I'm recording this afternoon, the Bucks absolutely just wreaked havoc on the Heat. Yeah,
they won by 2 points.
There. 2 points.
They got
2 points, 20 points. All I see is 1-0. All I see is 1-0 on that record sheet. So we move. Bucks Nation keeps rolling. But yeah, I think that I'll give myself a B plus on my East power rankings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I had a pretty similar Eastern Conference to you. I think we both had around like out of like the playoff teams. I think we had like all six around 7. So that's like like a 75%. I think like 87.5. Those math.
Not too bad. Quick math right there.
Success rate. So yeah, the Raptors were obviously a big disappointment. And yeah, Celtics too. I think they had a rough start to the year, but they made the last like 3 conference in the past 4 seasons they made 3 conference finals. So they're always a contender in the East. We were talking about that before too. So yeah, for my East, I'd probably give myself around a B.
That's fair. Yeah, I rate that.
A B.
And then moving on to our West side, this side was very, very scrambled. A lot of teams were very close to making the playoff picture, especially because the play-in very, very tightly contested. Obviously, the Grizzlies ended out beating the Warriors. but we didn't even have any of them in that playoff picture. So that was a bit of a letdown. But yeah, I had the Clippers, the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Jazz, Mavericks, Rockets, Portland Trailblazers, and then the Suns. Suns I had as the 8 seed. I honestly thought at that point it was a hot take to have them making the playoffs, but they proved both of us wrong, seen by our records. And they made that picture, and they were pretty incredible doing it too.
Yeah.
I would say I would probably give myself – this is probably worse than the East side for me, so I'll give myself a B on this one. Rockets was a disaster. Having the Pelicans in 9 seed was a bit of a disaster too. They were pretty god-awful this year. I got my garbage picks pretty good though. You know, the Kings, Thunder, and the Timberwolves, I had them all finishing last, and that ended up happening, so happy about that. So yeah, B plus, somewhere in that range for sure.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a fair grade. For mine, same thing with the Rockets. I guess after the James Harden trade, they fell off super hard. I'd probably give myself, I'll go C plus, just because I had Utah finishing 10th this year.
Yeah, that's crazy. I told you about that.
So yeah, that was a massive L. Golden State, the 8, I was around like 8. Pretty much, I think I had like 7 playoff teams here, or 6. So another 75%. So that's all right, but we're kind of chasing 80s for that A minus.
For sure.
Could have done better,
exactly.
But yeah.
Just like in Hitch's class, eh? Always getting those A's.
Well, an A in Hitch's class is equivalent to like a C.
That's blessed.
So.
Yeah.
Anything above a C is
blessed in Hitch's class. Yeah, for sure. Easily. Anyways, moving on to our playoff picture. Like Johnny said, best time of the year. I would say, like, I saw this one tweet about it. It was pretty funny. Someone saying that I felt like I've been doing lines of NBA instead of like crack. I've been doing lines of NBA, and I've been on a 4-day bender. The play-in has been incredible. I don't think one game is disappointed, except maybe the Pacer game against the Hornets. That was a pretty garbage game.
Yeah.
Besides that, the play-in game has been extraordinary. I loved it. It was great for the fans. Tough for the Warriors, tough for SJ. Sorry, buddy. Go sit on the Cancun couch. But, yeah, besides that, everyone else is happy, and that's what we love to see. So, yeah, play-in's huge success. I think it should stay. I love it. Maybe give it a couple tweaks here and there to make it a little bit better or more advantageous for the higher seeds, because they work harder during the whole season, so it's kind of tough to see them get bounced just by one game. But anyways, this or that, moving forward, let's talk about our playoff predictions, what we think is going to happen. I'll start us off. So just running it down, I'll run it down through all the first rounds. So first off, 1 versus 8 in the Eastern Conference, Philadelphia versus Washington. The best backcourt possible in the NBA going up against just an all-around fantastic team. Philadelphia has done incredible things this year. Doc Rivers is a fantastic coach. He's a bit iffy in the playoffs, kind of like Bud, but we'll see what he can do this year. I expect Philadelphia to have just to wreak havoc on them. I don't think they have an answer for Embiid, so I see this game this series being pretty quick and over with.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next one. This is one of my favorite series, I think. This is the New York Knicks versus the Atlanta Hawks. Bit of a hot take, I think, but I got Atlanta going through. I think that they've been fantastic since they've gotten Nate McMillan. I'm a big fan of Trae Young. I know people don't like him because he foul baits a lot, but don't hate the player, hate the game. He does what he has to do to get those buckets, so good for him. And I love that they're all young. They look like they're hungry and they're ready to win. And even though what's most interesting is that both these teams don't really have much playoff experience, which is going to make it really scrappy. It's going to make it really contested, and I think that it's going to be a very unorthodox series. It's going to be very fun to watch. So with that being said, Hawks going through for me. Moving on.
That's a good analysis of that series.
I appreciate that. Moving on, I got Milwaukee beating the Miami Heat. Like that just has to be done. Like, obviously we're going through. They bounced us last round or last year. That was a little bit of a bubble fantasy. Mickey Mouse waving his wand and stuff. So that was just a special time. Shout out to Tommy. He had his fun. But this year we're serious. We got PJ Tucker. We got Bobby Portis. Those are our dogs that are going to be defending for us. We already took 1 game from them. 3 more to go. This might even be a clean sweep, fam. This might be a clean sweep.
You guys are taking the 6 games, bro. You
guys don't worry about it. I said Bucks in 5. I'm sticking by that. Bucks in 5. And then our last one, this game just wrapped up as we're recording this. Brooklyn beat Boston, but I already had Brooklyn going through. This is pretty obvious. No Jaylen Brown. I don't think Tatum can do it on his ones. I don't see Marcus Smart and Kemba stepping up enough. Lucas Okota, my guy, just ain't happening this year. You guys are getting bounced. You're heading to Cancun as well. Pack your bags. And then moving on to the West side, Utah versus Memphis. I love me some John Morant. That's one of my most exciting players to watch. I really love what he can do. Better than Zion in my opinion, but that's for another conversation. But yeah, I've got Utah going through, and just stick to that Utah prediction because you're gonna be seeing it a little bit later as well.
Nah.
The Clippers.
They're gonna bounce first round, bro.
You think so? All right, we'll see. Let me know what you think later. The Clippers versus Dallas. Dallas took a game off them today, which was crazy. But I'm still holding on to Ty Lue. I backed him early this year. I backed PG. And
what did he say?
I gotta fend for my boys.
Pause.
You don't gotta put it that way, bro. Yeah,
no, we'll keep it. We won't cut that.
Nah, no worries. Anyways, those are my boys. I fended for them earlier this year in an earlier podcast, so I'm gonna be sticking with them. I think
you better fend for Ty Lue, bro.
I'm fending Ty Lue. That was equally his chip to LeBron's chip. Don't get it twisted. So yes, Clippers are going through. Next up, Denver versus Portland. That's actually going on as we speak right now. This is tough, but I'm taking Portland. I am taking Portland. I love Jokic. He's a big Euro guy. I'm a Euro guy. We're the Eurosteppers. We got that connection, but
yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jokic, but no Murray, no party. It's gonna be Portland. Dame's going crazy. CJ's going crazy. It's gonna be like maybe a Game 7 game, but I think that Dame's gonna go crazy. So Portland, and then the last one, probably the most hyped up series of the whole tournament right now, Phoenix versus the Lakers. This is a toss up for sure, like a toss up. Yeah. I very strongly think that right now the Lakers are the most vulnerable, and if any team is gonna beat them before they get to the chip, it's going to be Phoenix right now, because if they get the confidence and the Lakers beat Phoenix, they're going to just snowball with that momentum, and they're not going to be able to be stopped. I'm calling it right now. So Phoenix has the best shot. They got to do it right now or no team's going to stop them. So I'm taking Phoenix to beat them first round.
No, that's definitely a good prediction. That's going to be a good series too. And the thing that kind of sucks for Phoenix is, you work that hard all year.
Yeah.
Finally
just
in the 2 seed,
Lakers
completely turn things around, and you get LeBron in the first round.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, that's actually that's just unlucky, but I think they got to focus on getting their dubs. Jump into my bracket. For the first round, I think a lot of our picks are pretty similar.
Yeah.
I have the 76ers over the Wizards, just because no one is going to be able to contain Joel Embiid inside.
Yeah.
The East, my only difference is going to be I'm going to take the Knicks over the Hawks. I just want to see Derrick Rose do well.
I know. Me too.
I want to see him, just advance in the playoffs. He deserves it. See how far. They're obviously an upset team, but see how far they can go. The Bucks versus Heat was a very tough one for me. I'm going to go with Milwaukee. I think they'll be good enough to make it out the first round this year. And, I just don't want to see the Miami Heat win, because they were a one-hit wonder, and a first-round exit will prove that they were a one-hit wonder last year.
That's facts.
Obviously, the Nets versus Celtics, that's not even a discussion. It's gonna be a sweep. The boys, the Brooklyn boys were balling tonight. It's going to be an easy dub for James Harden and the boys. Jumping
Kevin
over
Durant and the boys. Durant and the boys.
We all know who the alpha is on that team. Jumping over to the West, I think I have all the exact same picks as you. Got the Jazz over the Grizzlies. Hopefully Donovan Mitchell's back soon. He's been out with a concussion. Clippers over the Mavericks, but I think that game one, today's game, was a super pivotal game, just because LA, I think Clippers needed to win that game because now they're starting to have flashbacks from last year.
True.
Paul George, pandemic P is back.
It's a curse, man. I swear to God, it's cursed. It's crazy.
They need the confidence. They need they can't find themselves in the same boat as last year, because from now on, they're just going to keep having flashbacks. They're not going to be playing as confident as they should be.
Yeah.
Team they look like during the regular season. Nuggets versus Trailblazers. If the Nuggets had Jamal Murray, I think they could have made a deep run this year, but
for sure,
no Jamal Murray. I think the backcourt of Dame and CJ is going to completely torch the Nuggets.
Yeah.
They'll make it far. And then Suns versus Lakers. It's tough because like LeBron, you can't really count him out in playoffs. He always turns it up. But I'm going to have to go with Phoenix. I'm repping a Phoenix jersey right now.
Show that. Let me see
for
that.
tonight.
Let me see that Phoenix jersey.
The vintage Steve Nash.
That's a nice one.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of D-Buck. He's my second favorite player in the league. Chris Paul too. It'd be cool to see him.
For sure.
At the start, I had them as a 6 seed. I had them as a dark horse making it to the conference finals. And interesting enough, meeting up with the Lakers and losing to them. Yeah. But now, with first round matchup, LA didn't look too good for the majority of that Golden State game. So I kind of like Phoenix here.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. Just touching on the Lakers series one more time. For me, seeing Curry absolutely torch them, and he was basically on his ones. He had no help.
Yeah.
And for me, I see Booker as like more of like a kind of like a light version of Curry.
Okay.
Like, I mean, even to be a light version of a player like Curry is pretty incredible. So
yeah.
And the thing is that he has support. He has DeAndre Ayton, who can do his bit against Anthony Davis, and he has Chris Paul, who like Dennis Schroeder will not be able to guard Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So I think that Chris Paul, that backcourt is also like one of the best backcourts in the NBA. I'd say only behind Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. But yeah, the thing is that like they're like the Wizards, but they have a front court as well. They have DeAndre Ayton. They have Mikal Bridges. They have Jay Crowder, who is one of the most underrated playoff players or playoff NBA players in all of the NBA. He's phenomenal. He torched the Bucks last year on the three-point line.
Yeah.
I expect him to do the same thing this series. He's an incredible player. They have the depth, and I think that it's going to be too much for the Lakers this time. They might prove me wrong. Like you said, playoff LeBron's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, like LeBron's definitely going to keep it in them. It'll definitely go the distance, like 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah.
Unless like Phoenix, it's either going to go 6 or 7 or like I think LA could end it quickly in like 4 or 5.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, moving on to the second round, jumping back to the East. So from my first round, so I had the 76ers and Knicks matching up. Just because of the Knicks lack the playoff experience, Phillies look good all year. Gonna have to ride with Philly, as much as I kind of don't like them, as the Raptors kind of like where they're like, or they're like Suns, if that makes sense, after the Kawhi shot. Especially Joel Embiid is just a crybaby. But yeah, I'm gonna have to ride with the 76ers there, and then Nets versus Bucks. That's a big time series. I think
huge.
I think regardless, the winner of that series is gonna make it out of the East.
Yeah.
Too bad they couldn't be in the conference finals.
I know,
because they're probably I don't know if they're most deserving, but definitely the two best teams. It was a movie whenever they matched up during the regular season. But again, not really much. There shouldn't really be much up for debate here. It should be
not much up for debate. That's crazy.
Easy decision
That's
here.
crazy.
The Nets are taking it. James Harden is taking it. He's leading them all the way this year. So
for sure, we'll see.
The Bucks are just another like obstacle, easy like a pylon on the road. You just kind of move it aside.
All right, we'll see. You just move it aside. You don't walk around the pylon. You just move it aside.
I move them aside, bro.
Fair enough.
I don't like trash on the road. Like. And same thing with the Bucks. Like
All right, fair.
On the road, you just like you move trash aside.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's some big talk.
That's what the Nets are gonna do.
That's some big talk from the guys on the playoffs. But anyways, give us your West.
Going to the West, so Jazz versus Clippers. The Clippers aren't looking too good right now, but I think they're gonna turn it around. So I'm gonna take the Clippers in that series. I think Utah, as good as they are, they've never made it past the second round. A lot of first round exits. I don't really see this year being any different.
Yeah.
Because the playoffs is a completely new animal. You rely on your stars. Your stars carry. And LA has the star talent to do that with Kawhi and Paul George. And they have Rondo too now in the mix. And then the Suns versus Trailblazers. I think Phoenix can escape LA, and I think they'll beat Portland as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll have them meeting up with the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals.
This is where it gets a little bit iffy between us. Not much like similarity going into this round.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, Philly versus Hawks. I'm riding with Philly like you.
Yeah.
I mean, just like you said, they have that playoff experience. They have a playoff like a playoff tested coach in Doc Rivers. Recently his records haven't been great with the Clippers. He wasn't too great with them. He did succeed in Boston though, so he has that mentality. He has that playoff mentality. He knows when to get the most out of his players. So there's that. And I think that just simply because of raw playoff experience and because of raw talent too. Like there's just so much in this Philly team. Daryl Morey's done a great job, one of the best executives in this league of making this team. So yeah, for me, Philly's going through.
Yeah.
Milwaukee versus Brooklyn. Like you said, this is a movie of a series. And I'm telling you right now, I'm fully ready to go to war and watch this to Game 7. I'm taking Milwaukee Bucks to the conference finals.
Wow.
In 7. I'm calling it right now. Milwaukee in 7 games. And Giannis hits the buzzer. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what a buzzer beater is, but
look, I'm gonna say right now, bro. The reason why Milwaukee will not go far in the Heat game today, the reason they almost lost in regulation was because of Giannis. He missed both free throws down the stretch.
It's because of Giannis, but let's not act like he didn't clamp up Jimmy Butler the whole game and keep him to 4 out of 24.
Well, what happened?
4 out of 24.
He still had a triple-double.
Okay, but 4 out of 24, you kept their star player too. That's GOAT-like work.
No.
That is why he's the defensive player of the year. That is why Giannis Antetokounmpo is the defensive player of the year.
Bro, if you how can you clamp a guy who dropped a triple-double on you?
He didn't drop a triple-double, though.
Yes, he did. No, he didn't. I swear to God, when I checked the fourth quarter, he had
he did not have a triple-double. Go check it. He did not have a triple-double in the end. Regardless, though,
he probably was
we won that game
from a triple-double.
Giannis had the early playoff jitters. It happens to the best of players. Don't worry about it. MJ had his playoff jitters. He still came through. MJ still came through. Don't worry about it.
But look, if I've been saying this, Giannis, if he can't make free throws, that's the reason why the Bucks aren't.
I agree, but don't worry about it.
He will turn around. No, he won't.
He will turn around. The months of March, April, and May, he was fantastic from the 3.4 from the free throw line. My bad. He was, I think, around 80%. This is just a glitch. It's just a glitch. No worries about it.
But he'll come back next game. We both know
he'll come back next game, and he'll be GOAT-like. Don't worry about it.
No.
Don't worry about it. So I'm taking Milwaukee through. Period. Game 7 KO. Into my West predictions, Utah versus Clippers, another interesting series. I'm not sure the last time these guys matched up in the playoffs. I feel like it's just been so long. I don't even know when the last time they matched up, but yeah, it's crazy. But I'm taking Utah. I think that if Donovan Mitchell is ready, this is a big asterisk right here, by the way. If Donovan Mitchell is playoff ready, no concussion BS, he's rested and plays well during this Memphis series, Utah going through. They're beating this Clippers team. I like them a lot. You already know I'm a big fan of Quinn Snyder, one of my favorite coaches in this league. I wish the Bucks had him, but that's nor here nor there. I love Dirty Joe. I bang with my boy Dirty Joe, so I just can't knock them. So I'm taking Utah against the Clippers. And then my second matchup, just like you said, Portland versus Phoenix. I just think that this Phoenix team gels so well together. I love this Booker Chris Paul tandem. So yeah, I'm taking them to go into the conference finals as well. That just shows you what Chris Paul can do as a player. So yeah. that is my semifinals wrapped up.
The thing with Utah is like playoffs is a whole new season. So I personally don't think that they're going to play the same way. And I think if LA, once the Clippers get rolling, I think they'll get hot. So
that's fair. So, yeah. It's a big risk me taking them, but I'm willing to bang with my boy Dirty Joe. Sixth man of the year candidate, Dirty Joe. Don't put some respect on his name, all right?
You need to
Sixth man of the year candidate. Yeah. I have been. Yeah, that was my mistake. That was my mistake, but I have been recently. That's my boy.
Yeah.
And moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's been a couple years since the Bucks have been here, but
what happened
they're coming back this year.
What happened last time they were there?
You're right. But this year it's going to be different. And that being said, if the Milwaukee Bucks see the Philadelphia 76ers, just like Kawhi made Embiid his son, Giannis is making him his grandson. Giannis is going to absolutely destroy Embiid. We know where these matches have been. Anytime the Bucks have matched up with the 76ers, Giannis always comes out. He always plays. He always plays better than Embiid. I don't see it being any different in a playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Bucks, if they play against each other, maximum 6 games. I think Brooklyn is the biggest challenge. I think the Heat are a bigger challenge than the 76ers are for the Bucks. Wow. I just want to put that on the record right now. So, yeah, I see the Bucks taking out the 76ers with relative ease in the conference finals if it happens, if they get there.
What about the West?
And the West, Utah versus Phoenix. That is an interesting series for sure. It's Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert versus Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And like I said, I'm banging with my boy. I'm banging with Dirty Joe.
But he's riding Dirty Joe.
I'm fending him. I'm fending. No, no. I'm fending Dirty Joe to the end. I'm taking them to the finals. This is probably one of the hottest takes I've had on the Eurosteppers podcast, but I'm taking Utah Jazz, which is crazy because they're the first seed. Yeah. But I still feel like it's a hot take to have them going to the finals.
Like they're still like an underdog for sure.
Yeah, for sure, which is kind of crazy to me. But yeah, I am taking them to get to the finals. And I think it will be a Milwaukee Bucks versus Utah Jazz series. And then we'll talk about who's winning that at the end.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty Buck T finals. Like,
it's a strange one.
That's a really Buck T. Like, you know, two small market teams.
Hey, you gotta love them small market teams getting deep runs for sure.
It's good to see, but you know, I just don't, for TV ratings, I just don't think people want to see Milwaukee and Utah play in the finals.
I think they'd love to see Milwaukee in a big team, but Utah, not too many people have respect for them, but I'm taking them. I'm taking them there.
Well, I don't know what you mean by Milwaukee in a big team, because like none of the teams are big.
What do you mean, bro? I'm talking about if like who wouldn't want to see Giannis?
Oh, Milwaukee in a big team.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to see Giannis versus LeBron in the finals?
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Going to my conference finals, you know, the Eastern Conference Finals. You know, it's kind of sad not to see the Raptors here, but you know, I have James Harden here,
so pretty good for me. I enjoy it.
So Nets and 76ers, you know, again, you know, they'll probably be over in like 4, maybe 5, because you know Joel Embiid might be able to snatch a game from them.
Maybe.
Since we don't have any size, but you know James Harden and the boys going all the way to the finals, they'll make light work of the Sixers. So you know, not much up for debate there. Going over to the West, Suns and Clippers. You know, Phoenix, I like just really like them. You know, kind of like you.
Yeah.
Like Devin Booker. And you know, I think they're kind of like. I see this team as like being like the Miami Heat of last year. And I think they can make a legit run to the finals. So I have the Phoenix Suns being the Los Angeles Clippers.
Damn.
The Western Conference Finals. And
That's
Chris
crazy.
Paul. Yeah. And Chris Paul and Devin Booker. You know, Devin Booker going to his first finals.
Yeah.
You know, going to the finals, Brooklyn Nets and Phoenix Suns, you know.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
I would like that. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, I think for sure it would be, you know, both teams are like guard heavy too, you know, like the bigs aren't really going to have that much of a factor. Like they could be the X factor, like whichever one's going to step up. But yeah, you know, I think a lot of star power, some good storylines there too.
For sure.
But obviously, again, you know, it ain't up for debate. I've been saying it ever since the James Harden trade went down. This year, I am predicting that the Brooklyn Nets will be the 2020, 2021, or I guess 2021 NBA champions, and you already know who the Finals MVP is going to be. I'm not even going to say it.
Who is it going to be?
I'm not.
Who's it going to be?
I don't need to
put
say
it on the
his
record.
name.
Put it on the record. Put it on the record. Who's it going to be?
James Harden will win Finals MVP.
All right, I'm sticking to. I'm keeping you to that. We're going to watch this video back.
James Harden will win Finals MVP.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to watch back when Milwaukee bounces them in the second round.
No, I'll put my trap phone on it right now.
You'll put your trap phone on it.
I'll put my trap phone on it.
All right, bet.
The Nets are beating the Bucks second round.
Yo, we gotta accomplish something soon. Well, we're gonna be. I already got one going on with Tommy right now. We both big fans of soccer. Whoever's team loses has to support the other team in soccer, so that'll be fun to see. Just a little bit of banter there. But yeah, we gotta come something with ourselves for sure. But anyways, for me, no, yeah, we will for sure. For me, finals, you know, the Utah Jazz versus the Milwaukee Bucks. An interesting finals for sure. I think it would be pretty contested if it did happen. And I think Milwaukee Bucks are going all the way this year. I think Drew Holiday is a messiah. I love Drew Holiday. I think him and Giannis and Chris Middleton, of course, after hitting that ridiculously clutch shot today. Yeah. Like Chris Middleton is just a GOAT. I love him. He's always – I know you didn't even have him in your all-star picks this year, which is crazy. He didn't get picked. But
neither did the NBA.
But I think we can address that was a poor choice after tonight's game.
No.
Chris Middleton is a goddamn all-star. Put some respect on his name. Everyone out there hating on him, he's the middle range GOAT of this era. He is actually the middle range GOAT. The man cannot be stopped in the middle range. He's incredible. He is absolutely incredible player. Bucks are making it all the way. Bucks are getting their first chip. Giannis is getting over the hump, and he's gonna solidify himself as a top 15 player of all time.
Top 15.
Mic drop.
Yo, you said
Mic
top
drop
25
right
before. I don't know about top 15. You know,
top 15. Top 15 of all time.
That's a question I had for you too. You know, if Giannis wins this chip, because I remember you saying top 25, top 20, top 15 now.
Top 15.
If Giannis
I'm
wins
going that
this
far.
year, wow.
Top 15. Take this run in. Miami Heat, who made the finals last year and basically have the exact same team.
One hit wonder.
Okay, but still the same team. We can admit that. They're a good first round team. Are we can we accept that?
One hit wonder.
But they're a good first round team.
A good one hit wonder.
Oh my god. All right. Well, they're a good first round team. The Brooklyn Nets.
It is a tough matchup. I'll give you that.
Fair. The Brooklyn Nets,
yeah,
who's possibly the stacked team in the history of the NBA. 4 Hall of Famers. 4 Hall of Famers on that team. Let's get that straight.
Blake Griffin?
Blake Griffin's a Hall of Famer, is he not?
Bro, that's a close one. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer.
All right, well, maybe a second ballot. Maybe a second ballot.
Like, I think he's borderline right now. I think.
All right. So 3.5 Hall of Famers on that team versus a peddler from Athens, Greece.
Oh, come on.
If he makes it through and he beats them, and then he beats Philly, the first seed in the East, and then he beats the Suns, the Jazz, the Clippers, or the Lakers. Tell me that's not one of the greatest NBA finals. Tell me that's one of the greatest final runs of this decade.
The Jazz and the Suns. You're acting like they're tough.
The Jazz or the Suns. The Jazz or the Suns or the Lakers or one of those 4 teams.
If they play the Jazz or the Suns, like, those are both mediocre finals teams.
But you have them going to the finals. But you have the Suns going to the finals.
They're my dark horse pick. I said they're my dark horse. They're definitely even in the first round, they're an underdog right now against the Lakers. Obviously, that's because of LeBron too.
All right, fair.
First time that's ever
But
happened.
the thing is, so would you say that if the Lakers made it to the final, it would validate the Bucks' run even more?
Yes, 100%.
But if the Suns beat that Lakers team, why wouldn't it validate even more? Like, they were better than that Lakers team, no?
Who, the Suns?
Yeah, if the Suns beat the Lakers and then they go to the finals and the Bucks beat the Suns,
because
wouldn't that be the same amount of validation?
If the Lakers can get past the Suns, then they'll get rolling. But if they lose first round, I want Phoenix to win, and I do think they'll win, just because I think, as you said, like the Lakers are super vulnerable right now. Okay. And if there's a time to catch them, but I think if they don't catch them and LA does go through, then if they're gonna be prepared for the finals, and they're gonna, like, with LeBron, like, he's gonna provide a much better finals matchup.
Yeah, I agree with that. But regardless, you're going through the Brooklyn Nets, the Miami Heat, the 76ers. Like, probably this is all, like, still hypothetical, but probably that's the most likely run for them. And then either the Jazz, the Clippers, the Suns, or the Lakers.
Don't say the Jazz or the Suns.
Oh, they could happen. It could happen.
The Clippers or the Lakers is fair, but not
the
Jazz
Clippers
or the
Suns, or the Lakers.
They're not a tough finals opponent.
You're telling me that's not one of the greatest NBA runs in the 21st century.
It probably will be, yeah.
Like, that would be incredible if he does that, and that for me is enough to put him top 15. 2 MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, that finals run, or that just NBA run in general, with 0 All-Stars, because that's what happened this year. 0 All-Stars on his team, and he gets the finals and wins.
So Chris Middleton's not an All-Star now.
According to you, according to the NBA, he isn't.
But there's a difference between All-Star level player and All-Star.
No. You can't have it both ways.
Yes,
Either
you
he's
can.
an All-Star or he isn't.
Bro,
no.
If someone has a title
on our team, so keep that same energy when we get to the finals.
No, but it's different.
Keep that same energy.
It depends if you think they're an All-Star level player. So said
no, it doesn't matter.
If you think
he's
an All-Star game, he's not an All-Star.
In this year, he could be an All-Star level player maybe 2 years ago, but right now, according to the NBA, according to you, he's not an All-Star. So Giannis will make the finals. If he does make the finals with 0 All-Stars on his team, that is incredible, and that has not happened in a while, possibly since Dirk won that chip back in 2011. Just want to put that out there. I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I might have to give it that. I might have to give that to you because that does make sense.
Exactly.
But I'm not gonna get too caught up on it because they're not gonna make the finals. So
hey, we'll see. We'll have to see. All this could be BS. I could eat my words and they can go in the first round, but we'll see.
Like, look, if the thing is the Bucks, I think they have to win now because they have that money locked up, and I think after the Brooklyn dynasty is going to be together for about 3-4 years. I think.
You think that long?
They at least 3. I think they still got another 3 years in them.
I think 2 years max. This year, next year.
Not.
And then someone bounces. Someone bounces after next year for sure.
I think if they win, I think that's why this year is super important because if the Bucks don't catch them, then they'll become a dynasty.
All right,
and stick together. So I think it's super important. The Bucks at least have to make the conference finals. Anything below that is a failure, and the thing is that it's going to be tough for them. They got 2 tough potential first and second round matchups.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
For sure. No, I agree. And we'll have to see where the cards land at the end of the day. But yeah, that's my take. That's your take. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll keep a tally system. Whoever gets the most teams right, someone has to do something like a dare or some sort of that. Guys, like, leave something down in the comments what you think we should do. Like, you want to see Johnny just shave his head? You want to see me run a naked mile or something? Leave it down, and we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do for sure. But guys, that wraps it up. Those are our recap of the regular season. That's our playoff predictions. Just bringing you guys the best content every week in, week out. Yeah. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Please drop a like, support our content. It helps us grow 100%. We appreciate every single one of you guys that tune into our episodes week in, week out. We wouldn't be anything without you guys, so we appreciate that support for sure. 100%. Smash that sub button, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.